In the pale light of the driveway, you're already moving. One hand checks the paper calendar you keep folded in your pocket, appointments, pickups, a bill due, while the other lifts the toolbox into the trunk like it's just part of the morning. Your phone buzzes, and you flip it face down on the passenger seat, not to shut anyone out, but to keep the day from grabbing the wheel. If you answer every ping, you'll spend the next 10 hours reacting instead of holding things together. From the outside, that steady quiet can look like you don't feel much. But what if it's something else? A lifetime of keeping the family safe by staying composed. In a minute, we'll name it and what it costs when you need support too. And then you notice something else. When your daughter asks how you're doing, you answer fast, "I'm good." And you shift to her car, her kids, the leaky faucet you can fix. You thought staying quiet kept the room peaceful, but it can also teach people you never need anything back. So they stop asking twice. They don't see the tightness in your jaw when you glance at that packed calendar. They just see you steady. It isn't cold, it's duty on autopilot. And if you do feel tired or lonely, a small fear shows up. If you say it out loud, will you become a problem? To see how you learned this, we have to rewind. The part nobody warns you about is how early you learned to swallow what you needed. You remember a kitchen like this one, a parent moving fast, saying nothing, just getting it done. You watched bills get paid, lunches packed, a broken hinge fixed, and you learned the rule: handle it, then move on. You thought keeping it to yourself was respectful, but it also trained your family to look at you and see a person who never needs checking on. You thought speaking up was weakness. It wasn't. That framed photo on the counter is proof you love them. You just learned to show it with effort, not requests. And that makes the next part complicated. Here's what hits later. In the garage, you lift the toolbox lid and breathe that familiar metal and oil smell. Every wrench has a slot, every screw a place, and your shoulders drop a half-inch. You thought this was just being organized. You thought it was strength, really protection. But it is also how you make the world feel safe. You fix the loose step before anyone trips, pay the bill before anyone panics, carry the heavy bag before anyone notices. Asking for help feels like losing pride, even if your family would say yes. And feelings stay private, tucked away like spare parts. And that is why it shows up in the small phrases you use tomorrow morning. Now the night takes a turn. Your son calls, and you listen, reaching for a solution. You thought love was shown by fixing, but sometimes they wanted you, not the fix. So you offer to drive over, to handle it, and then you say you're fine before they can ask again. You don't ask for help, even when your back aches, because you'd rather push through than add weight to anyone's day. Your daughter hears that and backs off, and you keep things calm. No drama, no long talks, because noise feels like a spill you'll clean up later. But here's what most people never notice. That calm can look like distance, and the pushback starts right there. And this is where it starts to cost you. Your granddaughter says, "Can we just talk about it?" And you feel your chest tighten quietly. You thought talking meant arguing, like opening a door you can't shut. But to them, talking is how they feel close. So you offer the practical thing: money, a ride, the fix. And they hear you dodging. They may call it stubborn. You hear it as staying steady. They see a hard face. What's happening is you're trying not to spill worry onto anyone. You thought your silence protected the family, but it can also make you invisible inside it. And the next part is what that invisibility feels like at night. There's another layer that's harder to admit. When the house finally goes quiet, you don't feel proud. You feel empty. The living room is dim, the evening news murmurs, and your hands keep busy anyway, straightening mail, checking tomorrow on the calendar. Robert sits with a family photo on the side table and realizes no one has asked, "Are you okay?" in weeks. You thought carrying everything would make you feel needed, but it can teach people you're unbreakable. So they lean back, and you keep leaning forward. The loneliness isn't dramatic. It's subtle, like a coffee mug left to cool. And in a minute, we'll touch the smallest shift that changes what people think is possible. What looks small in the room becomes huge afterward. You flip the calendar and realize there's no white space left. Sometimes, "I can handle it" is the same line that keeps your family guessing. That doesn't make you hard. It means you've been carrying the quiet load for a long time. A small request isn't neediness. It's a doorway that lets love do some of the lifting. So you try one sentence. "I'm okay, but I do need a little help." You protect one square on the calendar as yours for once. And you ask one clear thing. "Can you grab the groceries this week?" Then you breathe. Next, we'll give you the words that fit your mouth. Here's what hits later. The words don't have to be big to be true. You thought if you kept it short, nobody would take it seriously. But a short line can be the kindest kind of clarity. You can say, "I'm okay, but I do need," or "Help me with one thing," or "Let's talk for 10 minutes. Being steady is not the same as needing nothing. They see a tough face and assume you're built for it alone. What's really happening is you're trying not to add weight to anyone. This is the part most people never hear. And once you say it once, the kitchen tomorrow morning won't feel quite as silent anymore. Morning comes back to that same kitchen. The mug is there, the calendar's still busy, but you don't have to prove you're fine by disappearing. You turn the phone face up, not to invite chaos, just to let one person in. When your daughter asks, you answer with one calm truth, and you don't apologize for it. You're still steady. You're just not alone with everything. That doesn't make you weaker. It makes you reachable. And if you want to keep exploring this, notice where your silence has been doing two jobs, protecting them and hiding you. Tonight, you might leave one square on the calendar blank. Sometimes the hardest part isn't the work you do. It's the moment you feel the need rising, and you swallow it before it reaches your mouth. Not because you don't trust your family, because you don't want to be the reason anyone sighs or worries. That fear can look like strength from the outside, but it often feels like carrying a box that never gets set down. When you name one small need, you're not asking to be rescued. You're letting love be shared, the way you've shared it for years. And in that sharing, you stay yourself, just a little less alone.